Hello, welcome to experiment 5 video, and in this video I will show you how to process the data for experiment 5. As usual, we will begin by asking you to create this blank Excel spreadsheet. Key in the heading experiment 5, these headers for the table, your very own experimental data. These are mine, but yours should be different. And of course, last sentence here in this sheet will be the velocity of the ball. So if you've not done so, you may want to pause this video and create this, what you see, and you can continue after a while. Okay, welcome back, and I'm sure you have created this Excel spreadsheet where you also have created entered your own name and your own class. Okay, so now the first thing is we need to do with this data is that you have time in terms of like these values, but the problem with these values is that they do not start from 0. So we have a second column called adjusted time, where we will adjust these values so that the first time is 0, and then the second time will be 15.93 seconds minus 15.12. The third time will be 16.71 minus 15.12. The fourth time will be 17.48 minus 15.12. Fifth time will be 18.30 minus 15.12, and so on. Okay, so that's how we want to do so. And okay, so I'm going to show you how to do the Excel formula. But before we proceed, let's just do some little adjustment. Okay, so I'm just make this column wider by putting here double click. Make this column wider, putting the cursor here and double click. Okay, and now we are ready. Okay, so now from what you know that every Excel formula starts with an equal sign, and you want to do a subtraction. You can click this cell minus the previous cell. Okay, so now what happens is that then you also learn that you can drag so that a formula can update itself accordingly. But when you drag, you find that there's a little problem because you expect that the numbers go up, just like the first column, but in fact the numbers here don't. They kind of remain the same. So let us investigate what is happening here. So if you go on to the next cell, look at the formula, and you find that it really doesn't give us what we want because it's taking the third cell minus the second cell. But what really want is that we want the third cell to minus the first cell, right? And let's go on to the next formula. Find that, oh, it's the fourth cell minus the third cell, but what we really want is the fourth cell minus the first cell. Okay, so now this tells us that what we just did is not enough. Okay, we must give Excel some more instructions so that the formula, okay, the first cell reference here, A7, can change because we always want the current row. We want the first one to change as we go down the rows. But we want the second formula, the second cell reference, to always remain the same. So this is how we tell Excel that we want the second cell reference to always remain the same. Go to the cell reference and put a $sign in front of the A, and we go to that will tell Excel that, hey, please don't change the column letter. Okay, now we go to the number 6 and put a $sign in front of the 6, and that tells Excel, hey, please don't change the row number. Okay, so we are ready to press enter, and you'll see that everything still remains the same. But let's see what happens when we go to the bottom right hand corner and drag. Okay, and we can see that, okay, now the numbers time has updated itself. Okay, and you can clearly see that the time goes up, which is what we expect. Okay, and let's examine one of the cell formulas. And this is exactly what we want. We want the first cell reference to change, so it goes according to the row as we go down. But because we have put a $sign, okay, Excel knows that, hey, you don't want to change it, so it will always keep it the same. Okay, so one last adjustment. You can drag also upwards, okay, and that gives us the expected value of 0.0. Okay, so now having processed the data, we are ready to plot the graph. Select the data as shown. Okay, and remember, first column is x-axis, second column is the y-axis. Click on insert, okay, and go to charts, and we want this icon. Click on the little arrow beside it and select the first one. Okay, and the chart magically appears. Okay, now if you select the chart, okay, we want the x-axis and y-axis to appear. So go to quick layout, and select this one. Okay, so the next thing we must do is to fit a trend line across. Okay, so select a point, okay, and right click, select add trend line, okay, and make sure linear is chosen, and also make sure display equation on chart is chosen. Okay, now why do we want to display the equation on chart? Okay, the reason is because we want to find the gradient of the graph of the chart, and the gradient of the chart will tell us how fast the ball is dropping through the to the syrup. Okay, right. So now that we found the gradient of the equation of the chart, okay, what is left is just to report its value. Okay, so I can type in here as 1.2693, so I run it up to 2 decimal places. Okay, and let me shift the chart to a bit to the left. Okay, and 2 decimal places, and then this, since y-axis is position and the x-axis is cm. Okay, so the velocity of ball should be in cm per second. Okay, so basically, essentially, you are done now. So let me show you some more features of Excel. Okay, so first thing, of course, reminders. Okay, make the table to have lines appearing. Okay, okay, adjust the heading. Okay, so that you can, it's bold, and again, the font size is larger. Okay, and you should also change the labels so that the labels are labeled as position in vertical axis, time is horizontal axis, and have a heading, experiment 5. Okay, so now last thing we want to see is just to show you some features. You need not have the chart on the same sheet. You can treat it as a different sheet. So what you need to do is go to anywhere on the chart, you right click, and what you want is select move chart. Okay, now and select move chart, and then now you see this, and select it as new sheet. Okay, and click OK, and now the chart is a new sheet by itself, and you can drag the chart over here. Okay, and so that the first sheet just contains your data. Okay, so you can rename the first sheet. Okay, just double click on sheet 1. Okay, move the cursor around, maybe you backspace or press the delete button, and then just call it data. Okay, type in data. Okay, and you can also rename the chart sheet. Okay, just double click again, and then backspace. Okay, and then you can type in okay, you can just give it a name that you like. I choose experiment 5 graph. Okay, experiment 5 graph. Oh, I have an extra 5 there, but never mind. Okay, I just delete. Okay, and there we go. So these are some new features of Excel that you should be able to carry out. Okay, so this is the end of the video.